Welcome back to Game 4 in this initial best of 5. This first round of the Kaspersky King of the Hill Arena is worth €100. And spawning here in the lower left corner of Newkirk Precinct, it's your orange Protoss player playing on ESCeu Icy Box. Guys, give it up for ShoWtime.
And in the bottom right, we do have the his opponent, which is currently up 2-1. It's going to be Acer's Nerchio as the red Zerg.
And Newkirk's another one of those funny maps like Whirlwind, where it's kind of big, it's deceptively weird, but again, nothing too shy of having Mutalists on the field, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nerchio went for it once again.
Yeah, the one thing is that the third, it can be easier to take, especially if you take the one to the right of your natural main rather than one above it. So that's definitely very important. As we saw last game, he had a very difficult time getting that third, which really helped contribute to Nerchio's win, but definitely could see it. We are seeing something different from ShoWtime, however. It looks like it's going to be a Forge at the front rather than the last two games where he's gone Gateway in the main.
Yeah, the aggression from the... I don't know, it's kind of a 50-50 thing. We're like, hey, the aggression worked one game, didn't work the second game. Do I follow up with it or do I try something new? And the fact is, if you guys don't understand how best of fives work, this is potentially ShoWtime's last game. If he doesn't win this, he's out. Nerchio will move on to the next round. So he's got to play it a little bit safer, and I like that he chose to go for the Forge first because of all of that.
Yeah, and just mixing it up every so often in a best of series is really, you know, there's MVP is the best of player, right? I mean, I guess you could argue some of that, but really, statistically, he's the best of player, and that just means that he has like so many builds, he has so many styles, and he can just, you know, always look at his opponent, what he does in one game, and say, I know what to do with that the next game. So that's really the definition of a very good tournament player, especially. But Nerchio, the one thing Nerchio hasn't done is taken advantage of the fact that ShoWtime has never gotten a Colossus and gone like Swarm Hosts.
Well, I think a large part of the contributing factor for that is a lot of Zerg players, you ask them, they'll recognize, yes, Swarm Hosts are the way to go, but I hate Swarm Hosts. They're not the way you play Zerg. That's not the way I like to play Zerg. So often you'll see players skip them. And yes, you can get around a Protoss army that does or doesn't have them with or without Swarm Hosts. But as you stated, it's kind of an ideal situation where it's like, oh, there's no Colossi? Well, I should definitely make some Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, so... Well, we do see Nerchio getting that hatch down. 4 lanes are on the way. They completely just did not care about that probe in the natural.
The cannon's going to be up. This wasn't like a 10 pull. This was no way for him to get across the field fast enough. But while he's not going to be able to get in here and do too much, he can at least keep tabs on his opponent, make sure no probes leave the base, make sure there are no pylons on the field. And as we see here, he's scouting around, taking that third base, making sure that he's not going to be caught off guard by anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he's going to see a probe. Yeah, okay, did see it.
ShoWtime could have gone for some type of cannon, you know, at least to scare Nerchio a little bit. Of course, he went for that pull first, so it wouldn't have done too much unless it went unscouted, but definitely still could have with that Forge first. Nexus does finish up here. Lynx choose not to go after that probe.
6 Lings, well, it's because 6 Lings can get around a cannon. 4 Lings cannot. And as we see here, yep. Now, of course, he's going to go around this, take a couple more hits. Might lose one more Ling if he doesn't micro this carefully. There we go. That one first. And, yeah. 4 lanes getting up to the main. This can be devastating for someone to deal with because you can't catch this even with Zealots. You need a Cyber Core to make this, to really shut this down.
Yeah, all a Zealot will do is just chase them all day, and that does hamper their micro buddy a little bit, but you're right, Stalker is really what you need to shut this down. So hopefully with good micro, it doesn't lose more than like 2 probes. Already lost 1 though. That's already looking pretty bad. Of course, losing a lot of mining time as well. One
of these things is so dead. Like, it's the one that keeps going in first. Meanwhile, here comes that Zealot. Now the Lings can't quite freely hit these probes. Of course, they run much faster than Zealots, so getting in and out, ring around the rosy. Focused on yet another probe. So 2 probe kills have paid for these 4 Lings, not to mention all of that lost mining time.
Yeah. There are so many Overlords around this guy's base. There's 3. I think one of them was a miss rally, but whatever. Doesn't matter. It's going to be nice scouting later on. This report does pop out finally after the expert does finish. Going to be able to scare away those Lings. Still, 2 probes for 4 Lings actually does... It's quite a lot, as well as all that night mining time. So very nice by Nerchio. He still has those 3 bases behind it.
And I hope when I do, Jonas actually got a probe holding the wall because he didn't know whether he could afford to send that Zealot away from the main or not. So, okay, cool. At least by doing so, he's not going to get caught off guard by a follow-up of Lings. But Nerchio, okay, he's got his gases down now. He's not taking too many yet. He's only just started getting that mighty under production. 3rd base now established. We'll see him drone up here for quite some time. And unless ShoWtime shows some sort of big aggression, I mean, actually, this poke coming across the field, well, it's not a whole lot of aggression. Nerchio has no Lings. He's, there we go, now making 8 as he sees that with the Overlord.
Yeah. So that's, last time he made about 15, which I think was an overreaction. 8's pretty nice. Would definitely deal with anything he has to throw for it, and, with the help of a queen or two. So drones up behind it as well, is not too worried at all. This Overlord, oh, it's so dead, but there's another one to suicide in, see if there's anything going on. There's absolutely not.
Actually, why did he didn't need to kill that one yet, I feel, but yeah. The first one going in was okay, then he had that 20 health one just splat for no reason on the side, so I don't understand, but okay.
Oh, because of that one that died, he doesn't see the third go down. This Ling will scout it, however. By the way, the aggression did not do much at all to even kill the Zealot.
Oh, man. Nerchio's gonna bust this front wall. This is a Baneling nest. This is one of the least common buildings you'll ever see versus a Protoss.
Yeah, definitely. It had its moment back in Wings of Liberty with, players like Leenock and TLO and stuff like that, but definitely very rare building to see. And we do see that ShoWtime went for that, not that early of a third, but still a nicely timed one. And lots of Lings are on the way. Jesus, about 20?
Yeah,
30,
there's already a ton
40?
on the field.
It's going to be 60 at the end of the day.
Oh, you and your math.
I'm good, I'm an art student.
What does that have to do with math? I can predict paint palettes. But okay.
Actually, I'm a computer art student, so...
Okay, well, see, if you said that, that's where the math makes sense. Anything with computer equals math, right? Because that's how stereotypes work.
Exactly. Banelings are morphing right now, and ShoWtime has no idea this is happening.
He's only got the 1 sentry too, so even if he did, there's not enough sentries to hold this off. Oh, sorry, second one here at the natural, but Cybercore gonna get focused down, almost goes down, 130 health left on it. Second round of Banelings should finish this up. Oh my god. I don't know, but losing that Cybercore is huge. Not only do these Lings now flood into the vein, he can't make Stalkers to defend. It's... Actually, did he lose his Warp Tech? No, he didn't. Okay, he already has Warp Tech on the field. But 3 Zealots coming in. Probes pulled actually this great wall up with Zealots here in the natural, or sorry, the main. Allow the Probes to escape to the third base. So a lot less devastating than it could have been. But Nerchio can still focus down the pylons, do a lot of bit of damage.
Oh, these Banelings are the third, these Banelings are the third. Oh, okay.
Oh my god, they're not done yet though. It's not safe. There we go, coming in from the north! Baneling connects with so many probes. 25 workers killed at this point. The Zergly's still running rampant in the main. Mothership Core is doing what it can. There's still Banelings here waiting for that transfer back. ShoWtime, no! Don't bring your probes back. There's Banelings waiting for you.
Oh my god.
Oh
even
my
without
god.
the Banelings, the Lings are enough.
Yeah, Nerchio, I think, may have taken this series here, guys. What a crazy hit. Like, this was so unforeseen. Cannon at the third base, not going to be enough. It still goes down to these Lings. And right now, ShoWtime is just struggling. He's trying to get that wall up at the front. He knows he's got to give away this third base. And oh my god, I say struggling. I should have said floundering, Zombie Grove.
Better word. I think Nerchio's decided that he's pretty much won right here. He's actually joining up behind and getting those 2 Evo Chambers and a Lair as well. Not going to be able to bust that front without more Banelings. Oh my god, ShoWtime has 1,000 casts. That's a lot.
That was such a sick move out of Nerchio because, again, guys, it's not just for us as casters, as Protoss players. You don't expect a Baneling bust. If this was a Terran player, yes, ShoWtime would have expected a Baneling bust. It's a common thing to see. But a Protoss player, rarely, if ever, do you see a Baneling bust. So really well thought out, I think, out of Nerchio. Just going off of the unlikeliness of his strategy, completely just... Oh, such damage. I can't even... I'm absolutely gushing about that attack.
Yeah. He also took advantage of the fact that ShoWtime hasn't been that great in scouting in all these games. Pretty much he's waited for his aggression to do the scouting for him, right? So getting that early third means that his aggression is later, and thus his scouting's later. Nerchio definitely took advantage of that. I mean, this wasn't scouted until it happened, which is very terrible.
And okay, well let's back this up a sec. I'm getting really excited about what just happened, but the reality is that a Protoss player can play off 2 bases. You never want to. It's never the ideal situation when something like this happens. But it's not like ShoWtime's out of the game just yet. But he's definitely in the worst spot imaginable.
Yeah. The good news is because he only has 36 probes, he's pretty well saturated on 2 base.
Oh, Zombie
yeah.
The glass is half full with you, I see.
Definitely. So right now, like, what are ShoWtime's options, right? It's either to try and double expand or something like super greedy and hope it doesn't get scouted, or try and push out and end the game, but his army is so small. Nerchio's already up by 40-50 supply.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not gonna happen.
Well, he's pushing with the sentries. The Mothership Core can recall, so if he can do a bit of damage and recall out and lose very little to no units, he could honestly do a fair amount of damage. But the reality is, it's unlikely that he'll cause anything that'll really root him back into this game.
Yeah. So many lings are on the field.
Can he get the
Sentries
flower?
are
Get
good,
the donut, get the donut, get the donut, more force fields!
It saves all the sentries. There was a burrow, though.
Force field's pretty good unit. I don't know if he noticed the burrow, though. He may have thought he actually just killed everything.
I think he did. There they come up from behind.
Okay,
It's terrible.
Actually, he's got a really nice force field. Big donuts, but here come the banelings. The second these force fields wear off, all of these sentries are gonna die. Oh my god, reinforcing the sentry. Oh my god, the wall holds, and all the banelings do not connect. And these are the small little things that ShoWtime needs to get back into this, but unfortunately, he used up almost all of his energy there. So while Nerchio only lost lings, ShoWtime kind of lost his ability to push in.
And unfortunately, because of the burrowed lings, he wasn't expanding behind it. It's, you know, obviously maybe he didn't even want to, but
I don't think, as a Protoss player, unless you take out a base of your opponent at this stage, you can't really do that. But there's no immortals with this. It's just Archons. Roach is just looking to take some pretty big hits here. Archons are not kind of counterintuitive to the force field. When you force field off the Roaches to send the Archons in.
God. Things are not looking good at all for ShoWtime right now. Down by 50, 60 supply. Trying to warp, and he definitely wants to end the game right now. There's no sneaky third up in the upper position or anything like that. He's just all in, but especially without force fields. Like maybe if he had 100 energy on each one, he could do something, or 200 rather, but it's completely different when you have absolutely no force fields, only 2 more coming in.
The problem is, too, the reason you associate Immortals with Sentries is because the force fields push the Roaches back so they're out of range of the Immortals and they can fire for free from afar. Archons can't do that. They gotta get in close. So by force fielding it off, you actually kind of hamper the damage and the ability of usage, I guess, out of ShoWtime. But hang on, do you see what Nerchio is making?
More banelings. And
he's gonna make it rain banelings.
That is really, really cool if we're actually going to be able to see that. I think ShoWtime will be pushing in before the upgrade finishes, so we're just going to see normal baneling explosions.
Oh, and he's got some burrows going off here too. This could be huge. Because, like, if the sentries do the donut on top of these, oh man. This is really cool because, okay, we see some really sick force fields. If Nerchio can't actually crush the army with this, without the Roach Force can't really end this. Nice burrows going off, though. Saves a lot of the Roaches. His opponent can't afford to have detection on the field. Actually, hasn't really lost any Roaches. Big burrows going off there. Snipes off some more sentries on their way out.
He actually has no detection at all. He went down the only pathway that has no detection, and he's now just getting a robo.
We got day 9 tactics coming out here. We're behind Dark Shrine. And ladies and gentlemen, ShoWtime is certainly going to try and do that. Ooh, a little bit of lag from our Russian broadcasters there, but looks like they're okay. But yeah, so the big thing about the Bane Rain, guys, like, this isn't for show. This isn't Nerchio being, LOL, I'm going to BM with, like, Banelings from the sky. But it's because that's how you break force fields. You just drop the Banelings right on top of them. Force fields, of course, do not affect Overlords, and then just fly right over top of them.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's a little over the top, because Nerchio is pretty much going to win with 100 supply versus of Roaches, but you're right, it's also very effective. It's not just BM. Plus, it's through 2 weapons against...
They're not mutually exclusive, mind you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I guess ShoWtime also has his upgrade going for him, yay! But not for long.
Yeah, this is, well, I gotta say, like, if he had a couple of Immortals on the field, this would be a completely different story. But of course, he couldn't afford to make them. He couldn't afford to get the Robo down either. It's just such an unfortunate situation. But this isn't just Banelings. This is everything going to be dropping in here. And if you're going to send the empty Overlords first, of course, doesn't want to give away, doesn't want those free hits on the big ones. Not even going to go for the army. Oh my god, Zombie Grub just going for the main.
And ShoWtime saw it with that probe. He's thinking, oh my god, what do I do against this? And he's in probably the worst position. He's actually trapped out of his main base.
Oh, but there are Dark Templar here, and there's no Overseers for detection. It's not going to save the game, but it will do some damage.
That one Dark Templar.
He's waiting. I like this. He's still got so many Banelings in here. He's waiting to unload the most of the army. Now that it's clumped up, he can go for it. Roaches are coming down. This is how I imagine, like, that whole thing with Moses worked. You got, like, the 7 plagues and all that. Kind of just, like, raining down, but not frogs. Instead, roaches. And actually, Nerchio's not doing nearly as... Like, he's going to win the game with this. But I thought it would have been a little more devastating.
Well, those Dark Templars are still tromping away. Finally, they were two finished. So that definitely helped out.
The ramp is defeating Nerchio more than anything else right now.
I think ShoWtime's just soaking this all in right now. Oh, there was a drop at the main. How in the world did we miss that? But the main did go down, and the second will go down as well.
It's just not enough. GG.
Yeah.
And Nerchio will advance to the next round. He's going to be fighting Sake next, guys. I believe. Let me actually check that. I got to reset the scores and stuff. Foist.